What's up, J Fusion fans, and welcome back to another video. And this time we are going to review GARO versus Road. Now, GARO versus Road is the 15th anniversary presentation of the GARO franchise. So it's been exactly 15 years since the first GARO came out in 2005, and now we are getting a brand new GARO show. Now, from what it looks like, from the visuals alone, you will see that this Garo is another universe and a different story in and of itself, separate from uh, other Garo shows in the entirety of the Garo franchise, whether it's live action or the anime. So, from first impressions alone, from the looks, of course, the first thing that you will notice is the Garo armor that is featured. And uh, in the different Garo shows, there is at least some design change to make it distinct. So the Garo armors that have been featured before are quite mystical and look more like beasts, because the Garo armor is based on a wolf. But this Garo armor, while it still does have that wolf-like face, it looks more mechanical and robotic, in line with its VR theme. So speaking of VR, again, from the title versus Road and VR, so uh, it revolves around 100 men, or knights as they were called. So these 100 men or knights were chosen to play a mysterious VR game. So they received a pair of VR goggles, mysteriously, of course, and they have been transported into this game world where they were told to fight each other for the chance to become the Golden Knight, plus do whatever they want. So that is basically the plot of Garo versus Road. And with that basic plot, uh, I kind of remember Kamen Rider Ryuki in a way. So all the players chosen for versus Road seem to have a reason for fighting. Uh, of course, they were offered the chance to do anything that they want or become anything that they want. So of course, expect a lot of not so good people joining the game as well. But again, similar to Kamen Rider Ryuki, each of the characters who were participating in that battle royale have a reason to fight. They have a wish that they want to fulfill, and therefore they chose to fight. So of course, it's not a Garo franchise if you don't have characters, right? So for our characters, we have a seemingly ordinary university student and his geeky gamer of a best friend. We also have a couple of street brawlers who seem to have a long-standing rivalry. We also have uh, an internet video creator, and for the first time, the Garo franchise features a character from the LGBTQ plus community. Now, this particular character still uses the pronoun boku, which is still a masculine pronoun in Japanese language, but the character is portrayed as androgynous and seems to identify as a non gender. Again, despite the predominantly male pronoun that this character uses, uh, it's still evident that this character is from the LGBTQ community. And speaking of the characters, I find that this character is the most interesting in terms of personal story. So each of the characters featured, especially the major ones, they do have some sort of backstory, or they do explain it along the way, and we eventually find out why these characters are fighting uh, to become Garo. So, whether they want to change something about themselves or whether they want to do something with the armor, we really don't know. But it's their motivation for fighting that makes each character interesting. So, I probably shouldn't say which character will appear to be the main, because this might spoil everything. So, with that said, I actually am planning to create a separate video for the characters of Garo versus Road, including the villains, perhaps, if, you know, maybe time would allow it. But anyway, I am planning to do that just to avoid spoilers in this video, because uh, the plots for each character also build up the story of Garo versus Road. So again, I really want to avoid spoilers here. So uh, for now, you should try to watch it. It's already up online, and again, it's only 12 episodes, so it's not that much of a binge watch for you. So you can finish it in a day or two, depending on how fast you watch. But yeah, it's a relatively shorter series compared to its predecessors. So, anyways, yeah, for the music in the show. So the music features songs, of course, from Jam Project, as always with any other Garo show, and by far, Higenjitsuki Survival is my favorite Garo theme song. Although it's not the opening theme of the show, it like uh, previous live action iterations of Garo, it starts with an instrumental theme song and then switches to a more vocalized version, of course, sung by Jam Project. But this one, I think, is so far the best Garo theme song, in my opinion. So, Higenjitsu Teki Survival, man, that's a banger. So, uh, so you already can expect killer music, from Garo versus Road. So, what I like about Garo versus Road, what sets it apart from the rest of the franchise, is that it's definitely different in many ways. So, for example, for all of the previous Garo shows, you have a main character set, and this main character is already a Makai Knight, already trained to bear the armor, and this main character already carries the title of Garo. But for Versus Road, we don't have a set main character. Although there is one that is being pegged to us from the beginning, I'm not gonna tell who it is. So, like I said, it's going to be in a different video, so no spoilers. But all the major characters that are in the show, all the chosen knights, are actually normal human beings, especially when they are outside of the game. So it's interesting to see major characters that are not Makai Knights, although the plot is they are forced to fight each other in order to become Makai Knights. So uh, that is again the general plot of the show. So For the first half of the show, it doesn't really feel like a Garo show, despite the Garo armor being present. There are also horrors, which are, of course, the monsters that Garo defeats in all iterations. But uh, for the later half of the show, more elements and more references to traditional Garo lore. They eventually appear in the show. They are eventually mentioned in the show, and thus it begins to feel more like a traditional Garo show, while still maintaining its originality with this battle royale concept. So I really love how uh, Garo versus Road becomes a separate show on its own that can stand by itself without trying to rely on lore connections to previous Garo franchises. But but at the same time, it also still feels like the kind of Garo that in a certain way, again because of references to Makai lore and such. But I can tell you one thing though: there is no mention of other knights. So, uh, yeah, this is not connected in any way to the previous universes, as I would say. So, definitely no mention of Koga, Saijima, or anyone from other Garo franchises. So, yes, this is a Garo universe in and of itself, and that's what I love about Garo versus Road. So, for a relatively short Garo season, and you know, uh, it has such an amazing story that while it may end in only 12 episodes, I'm really hoping that that the season 2 of Garo versus Road comes out next year, or hopefully later within this year. Please let it be this year. Because I loved it so much that I started rewatching older Garo shows just to pass the time while waiting for the next episode of Versus Road. So it really got me hooked uh, on the Garo franchise once again, and I love it so much that I am going to give it a 5 out of 5 rating. So yeah, it's a very fun show. If you are a Garo fan, definitely a must watch. And if you have never seen a Garo show before, this can actually be a good starting point. And then you can go back and watch the previous shows, and then and then you probably would understand more about the lore of Garo, the Makai realm, and everything connected to it. But again, Garo versus Road is a good standalone title. Even though it's of course the 15th anniversary Garo show, it's still good on its own. So definitely a good show for you to binge watch. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. So do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JE Fusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!